A sudden dive from above places the ground within a zone of danger. In the wild, the eagle strikes with the authority of a ruler of the skies. Both prey and rival predators are held in check beneath its sharp talons. If the sky already belongs to the eagle, how much chance does the ground have to escape? Eagles are apex birds of prey across many wild ecosystems. With more than 60 species worldwide, they inhabit high mountains, dense forests, and river regions. Sharp vision, powerful wings, and curved talons make them dominant aerial hunters. Each dive is not just about strength, but a precise combination of speed and calculation. In ecology, eagles also symbolize freedom, power, and natural balance. In the South American rainforest, life does not unfold only on the ground, but across layers of towering trees. Weighing around 25 pounds, monkeys move like small shadows through the branches, using long arms, flexible tails, and quick reflexes to avoid danger. At that height, they have multiple escape routes, countless hiding spots, and the advantage of a group always ready to signal warnings. But above them, the harpy eagle reads movement in a different way. With vision about 5 times sharper than a human's, it does not chase chaos, but waits for a break in rhythm. When one individual becomes distracted and drifts from the group's alert pattern, its short, broad wings allow it to glide through tight gaps in the canopy. The descent is fast, controlled, and precise. Before any warning can spread, the harpy eagle takes control of the encounter with remarkable precision. But monkeys are not the only prey. With sloths, the hunt becomes slower, quieter, and almost completely silent. The harpy watches the slow-moving animal through layers of leaves, waiting for it to expose itself on an open branch. Even a small opening is enough for a single, accurate approach, followed by a return to the nest with a valuable source of food. Deep in the forest, the ruler of the sky is not just one that flies high, but one that can turn even the smallest opening into a chance for survival. A fox is a small but highly cunning predator. An adult typically measures close to 2 feet in length, with sharp hearing, quick reflexes, and a habit of checking its surroundings before pausing. For many hunters, it is a difficult target to pin down by speed alone. For the eagle, this encounter demands strategy more than strength. The fox uses low brush, rock crevices, and small rises to break the line of sight from above. Instead of diving at first sight, the eagle maintains a wide circling pattern, staying within the air currents and waiting for the moment the fox leaves cover or becomes focused on movement below. When that opening appears, the descent comes in a clean line from the sky. A delay of even half a second allows the fox to slip into a crevice and move beyond reach. But if the approach angle is precise, the margin of safety disappears almost instantly. Across this rocky terrain, the eagle does not rely on speed alone. It uses patience, angle, and timing to turn a clever predator into the hunted. A rabbit is a small but vital link in open grasslands. It feeds on young grass, moves constantly, and becomes a key food source for many predators. To survive, it relies on speeds of around 40 miles per hour, leaps close to 10 feet, and unpredictable changes in direction. From above, the eagle's amber eyes can detect a rabbit-sized target from several miles away. But seeing has never guaranteed success. Every low bush, small mound, and zigzag movement can disrupt the angle of descent. That is why the eagle must choose the right moment. When the opportunity opens, it folds its wings, drops in altitude, and dives along a short, direct path. The rabbit launches off the ground, shifting direction repeatedly, trying to hold on to its final margin of safety. Within seconds, reflexes and instinct converge on a single decisive point. With a success rate of under 30% when hunting rabbits, the eagle does not always prevail. This shows that the rabbit is far from defenseless. Across the grasslands, each encounter helps maintain the balance between predator and prey. On sheer cliff faces, every step becomes a test of survival. Mountain goats are masters of rugged terrain, with split hooves that grip onto ledges only a few inches wide. Their sturdy bodies often weigh over 60 pounds, about 5 times the weight of an eagle, making full-grown individuals nearly untouchable. But for the eagle, the cliff is not a barrier. It becomes a testing ground for one that knows how to turn height into an advantage. From the cold air currents above, the bird of prey silently studies every movement below. It does not rush the descent, instead waiting for a missed step, a slight imbalance, or a young goat straying too far from its mother. When the moment arrives, the wings fold, and the body drops along the slope like a living arrow. With a precise approach, the eagle does not need to lift its target, but uses momentum to disrupt the footing of the young goat. Once balance is lost, the cliff no longer offers safety, but becomes an ally to the hunter. The encounter concludes as the eagle takes full command of the wild space through remarkable precision. Each successful strike provides energy that can last for days, making up for many missed attempts. In the high mountains, victory does not belong to the heavier one, but to the one that understands even the smallest mistake of its prey. In Africa, the martial eagle stands as a symbol of power from the sky. With a wingspan exceeding 8 feet and a weight close to 14 pounds, it possesses not only impressive strength, but also exceptional precision in observation. Across the open land, every current of wind and every small movement can become a signal for survival. Here, a herd of Thomson's gazelles moves constantly to maintain a safe distance. An adult can sprint at around 55 miles per hour, making any hunt a high-risk challenge. But within the formation, a young gazelle with an unsteady step falls slightly out of rhythm, and that fragile moment creates an opportunity. In a flash, the eagle folds its wings and dives at a sharp angle, cutting cleanly through the air. There is no official measure of force, but the pressure from the approach is enough to disrupt the young animal's stride. Yet the savanna always carries unpredictable variables. The mother rushes in to shield her offspring, trying to draw attention away, but the decisive moment has already passed. The eagle has chosen the exact angle of approach, the right target, and the perfect moment of disruption within the herd. As the grass still trembles, it lifts off with its result. On the savanna, intelligence lies in turning a fleeting second into victory. Across the dry grasslands and low thorn bushes of Africa, the brown snake eagle does not need display to create pressure. It often selects a quiet, high perch, observing the ground like a living map. For this species, every subtle track across the soil and every unusual stillness can signal an opportunity for survival. A venomous snake nearly 9 feet long is enough to turn any misstep into serious risk, as its neurotoxic venom can force a predator to pay a high price. But the brown snake eagle is built for this kind of encounter. To approach such dangerous prey, it relies on legs covered in thick scales, forming a natural layer of protection, along with a careful strategy of distance control. The eagle does not rush in. It tests reactions repeatedly, causing the snake to lose its advantage and struggle to maintain a defensive position. When the moment is right, the brown snake eagle delivers a decisive move. Its precision in controlling distance allows it to face danger while reducing risk. Over many hunts, a diet focused on snakes has shaped this eagle into a specialist of arid landscapes. Along rocky coastlines, some sea eagles take advantage of moments when sea snakes surface near the water or rest on warm rocks. The environment changes, but the principle remains the same. Read the movement before the opportunity disappears. This stands as clear evidence of the remarkable adaptability of eagles in the wild. The lion charges forward with the power of the savanna's top predator. But one mistake in a single moment changes the direction of the hunt completely. The prey does not run. It immediately fights back with fierce survival instinct. From the dominant force, the lion is pushed back in the middle of the tense confrontation. When the king of the savannah loses control, what will happen in the very next second? In the minds of many people, the zebra is simply an easy target on the African savannah. But that is a major misconception. Behind those black and white stripes stands more than 700 pounds of muscle, powerful legs, and a survival instinct that is always ready to emerge. Across the open grasslands, a lion moves silently through the short grass toward a grazing herd of zebras. It lowers its body, closes the distance to just a few feet, and prepares for the decisive pounce. But at that exact moment, the zebra suddenly stops, pivots, and delivers a powerful kick with its hind legs. The force sends the lion backward and completely disrupts the attack. The hunting attempt falls apart, while the zebra quickly moves beyond danger. In another encounter, a solitary lion tries to isolate a young zebra at the edge of the herd. Sensing the threat, the dominant stallion does not follow the herd away. Instead, it turns and faces the predator. Charging forward at speeds exceeding 40 miles per hour, it creates enough pressure to force the lion away from its target. In that moment, the instinct to protect the herd changes the entire outcome of the confrontation. Although the lion remains a symbol of power on the savannah, every hunt carries risk. In nature's unforgiving cycle, the zebra proves that survival is not only about running away, but also about knowing when to stand and fight back. Across the African savannah, African wild dogs may not have the massive size of lions, but they are among the most persistent and coordinated predators in the wild. They live in constant competition with big cats, as both pursue the same herds of hoofed animals and frequently compete for food resources. During one chase, a pack of wild dogs works together to separate a young buffalo from the protection of the herd. Just as the prey becomes isolated, a lioness suddenly appears and moves in to claim the advantage. But the wild dogs do not disappear like many smaller predators would. They pull back briefly, give up the prey for the moment, then quickly return to harass and maintain pressure. At another time, when a lone lioness is spotted in an unfavorable position, the pack rapidly forms a circle of pressure. Capable of maintaining speeds close to 37 miles per hour over long distances, the wild dogs take turns cutting off escape routes and forcing the lioness to keep turning in defense. Whenever the lioness attempts a counterattack, the formation immediately spreads out and then closes in again from another direction. The pack's advantage becomes even more apparent near water sources. When many wild dogs gather around these areas, a lion must advance cautiously under pressure from multiple sides. In nature, power does not belong only to the strongest. It also belongs to those who know how to work together at the right moment. Even lions must respect these masters of coordinated hunting. For the lion, the ruler of the African grasslands, fear is often a distant concept. With the instincts of an apex predator, it dominates many animals across the savanna. Yet at the water's edge, that confidence gives way to caution. Like the hippopotamus, the Nile crocodile is closely tied to the water, but it also turns the river into an environment perfectly suited for ambush. A confrontation begins when a male lion misjudges the situation and enters deep water while pursuing prey on the opposite bank. In the murky current, it loses the footing, speed, and agility it normally relies on. From beneath the surface, the crocodile moves in silently. With an estimated bite force of around 3,700 pounds per square inch, the river predator quickly gains the advantage. A single mistake is enough to turn the lion's hunt into a difficult situation. In another encounter, a crocodile comes ashore to rest and warm itself in the sun. A lion may approach to investigate, but that confidence rarely lasts. The moment the crocodile turns, adopts a defensive posture, and points its powerful jaws forward, maintaining distance becomes the wiser choice. The danger becomes even greater when an entire pride crosses a river. Young, slower, or less experienced lions can easily drift into risky positions. The crocodile takes advantage of the confusion, applying pressure from beneath the water. Before the adult lions can fully react, the situation is often enough to make the entire pride more cautious. In nature, strength matters only when it is used in the right place. Even the lion must recognize that at the water's edge, it is no longer the one in control. In the wild, spotted hyenas and lions are lifelong rivals across the African grasslands. They share the same ecosystem, hunt many of the same prey species, and often compete over the results of a hunt. An adult lion weighs around 420 pounds, far heavier than a spotted hyena at about 140 pounds. But when numbers come into play, the balance is no longer decided by muscle alone. When one or two lionesses separate from the pride to hunt, hyenas quickly recognize the opportunity. With superior numbers, they surround from multiple directions and rapidly shift the balance of the encounter. The hyenas call repeatedly, creating psychological pressure while also drawing more clan members into the scene. Whenever the lion turns to defend one side, those behind it move closer toward weaker angles. With a bite force of about 1,100 pounds per square inch, hyenas can pressure a lion into leaving the prey behind or retreating. Even so, a fully grown male lion remains the greatest threat to hyenas. One sudden charge can force the entire group to spread out. But if the opponent is a young male, an old lion, a weakened lion, or one that has become isolated, hyenas may shift into a wearing down strategy. They make false approaches, pull back, then return from the different directions, forcing the opponent to react again and again. The encounter can sometimes last for hours, and when hyena numbers are overwhelming, the balance of power on the savanna can clearly shift. In the dry, semi-desert regions of Africa, the oryx survives not only through speed, but also through the courage to stand its ground. Weighing around 450 pounds, it carries horns nearly 40 inches long, straight and sharp like two natural spears. They are not weapons for display, but a survival shield when the animal is pushed to its limit. Even pack-hunting predators must be cautious around this hoofed defender. For a lion, the oryx is difficult prey to overpower. When the safe distance is broken, the oryx immediately turns to face the predator. It lowers its head, points its horns forward, and turns its body into a defensive wall. The tension rises. The lion charges in, but a perfectly timed head thrust from the oryx causes the attack to stall. The predator is forced to ease its pressure and loses its advantage. Here, the oryx shows that survival is not only about running away. Sometimes staying calm, holding position, and reacting at the right moment is the way to protect the chance to live. Along the banks of Africa's rivers, silence never means safety. A single unusual ripple is enough to put the entire shoreline on alert. The hippopotamus appears like a living boulder, weighing around 4,000 pounds, a presence powerful enough to make even apex predators think twice. The tension quickly turns into conflict when a lion boldly swims across the river toward the grasslands. A territorial boundary has been crossed, and the hippo has no intention of yielding. It opens its enormous mouth, releases a powerful warning display, and surges forward, sending water exploding across the surface. Any sense of safe distance disappears in an instant. With a bite force of about 1,800 pounds per square inch, the river giant forces the intruder to turn back and leave the danger zone. But the most dramatic moment comes in a different encounter on land, when a pride of lions attempts to block a hippo's return route after feeding. Even without the advantage of deep water, the hippo refuses to back down. It pivots, drives forward with the full force of its massive body, and breaks through the pressure around it. Its determination transforms into raw, instinctive resolve. Real encounters have shown that getting too close, even for a moment, can leave a lion facing the overwhelming power of an angered giant. The attack strategy of the orcapod instantly changes the rhythm of the ocean. The target is not simply chased, but carefully redirected through a series of precise movements. Even other predators can lose their advantage when facing a pod of orcas. With coordinated attacks and remarkable intelligence, the orca turns strategy into its most powerful weapon. So who can truly escape once the entire ocean becomes a closing trap? In Patagonia, the intelligence of orcas appears through one of the ocean's boldest hunting strategies. South American sea lions often gather on sandy shores to rest, absorb warmth, raise their young, and recover energy after long feeding trips offshore. In the water, they are fast and highly agile. But on steep beaches, their reactions slow under body weight, crashing waves, and the distance back to deeper water. The orca understands that weakness well. From offshore, the pod watches the coastline as if reading a living map. The opportunity usually comes during high tide, when waves push farther onto the beach and create a brief pathway toward shore. When a sea lion loses awareness near the water's edge, the orca bursts forward at speeds approaching 30 miles per hour, using the force of the waves to surge onto the sand. Caught off guard, the sea lion quickly loses its advantage against the orca's massive size and remarkably precise angle of approach. Moments later, the orca uses the strength of its tail and body to pivot back toward deeper water, avoiding the danger of remaining stranded for too long. This is known as intentional stranding, a rare technique passed down through generations of orcas. For them, hunting is not driven by instinct alone, but also by memory and the inheritance of the ocean. Gray whales are often called the long-distance travelers of the ocean. Each year, they can migrate more than 10,000 miles between warmer breeding grounds and nutrient-rich feeding areas in the north. An adult can reach about 49 feet in length and weigh more than 80,000 pounds, carrying remarkable endurance for a journey across the sea. But for orcas, that migration route is not just a random flow of movement. It is a path that can be remembered across many seasons. They do not rush into action. Instead, they watch from a distance, keep their spacing, and wait until the mother and calf move into open water, where waves, currents, and fatigue begin to slow their rhythm. Off the North Pacific, especially along near-shore routes by California, the encounter often becomes a prolonged test of strategy. Orcas take turns applying pressure from different directions, cutting off the path ahead and forcing the mother and calf to change course again and again. The goal is not a reckless confrontation, but to separate the calf from the mother's protection. With experience gathered across thousands of miles of ocean, the mother whale responds with persistence. She keeps the calf close, adjusts her swimming angle, and moves toward shallower water. If she can hold that formation long enough, both may pass through the dangerous stretch of sea. In the ocean, size creates an advantage, but endurance is what keeps hope alive. In calm waters layered with fine sand, stingrays often press themselves tightly against the seafloor, blending into the ocean floor like flat shadows. Some large stingray species can grow beyond 10 feet in length and carry a sharp barb on the tail for protection. Against prey like this, the orca does not rush into unnecessary danger. It keeps its distance, circles in a wide arc, then delivers a powerful tail sweep that disrupts the sand and surrounding water. Within seconds, under the force of the shifting pressure, the stingray struggles to maintain control or remain concealed. Off the coasts of South Africa, Australia, and the Gulf of California, great white sharks do not always hold absolute dominance in cold waters. A large individual can measure about 15 feet in length, with sharp senses and impressive bursts of speed, making it a predator many animals avoid. But orcas do not rely on raw strength alone. They approach from an offset angle, disrupt the shark's swimming rhythm, and force it to change direction again and again. When the moment comes, the orca uses its body and upward force from below to turn the shark over, placing it in a temporary state of stillness. From there, the orcas control the position and target the shark's most energy-rich area. Here, the advantage does not come from violent impact, but from intelligence, the ability to read the weakness of an animal that seems to have none. In Antarctica, the Weddell seal stands as a masterpiece of adaptation. Beneath a thick, insulating layer of blubber, these seals often dive more than 1,000 feet into dark waters in search of food. After long and exhausting dives, they return to floating ice sheets, slow their breathing, and rest quietly in what seems like a safe moment of stillness. But in Antarctica, silence is never a guarantee. From beneath the icy water, black and white shadows rise almost without disturbing the surface. The orcas do not rush forward. They observe, keep their distance, study the drift of the ice, and wait for the moment when the entire group moves together. Above the surface, the seal tries to remain calm. Below, bodies weighing more than 12,000 pounds begin swimming side by side as a single formation. With only a few powerful tail strokes, the pod drives water forward into a rising wave that rolls directly toward the ice floe. The ice trembles. The seal struggles to maintain its footing as the distance to the water's edge slowly narrows. If the first wave is not enough, the orcas circle back, adjust their angle of approach, and generate additional waves. Every movement is deliberate, turning the ocean itself into part of the strategy. The wave-washing technique reveals how orca intelligence can surpass raw strength with a success rate of nearly 75% and often requiring more than 4 waves. In the freezing ocean, they do not simply move through the sea, they turn the ocean itself into part of their survival strategy. Dolphins and orcas do not belong to two separate worlds. Biologically, the orca is the largest member of the oceanic dolphin family. But in nature, family ties do not erase the competition for survival. Smaller dolphin species have streamlined bodies, quick reflexes, and speeds that can exceed about 20 miles per hour, allowing them to skim across the waves like living arrows. That speed makes them unpredictable prey. But for some orca populations that specialize in hunting marine mammals, dolphins provide a protein-rich source of energy, forcing the entire pod to rely on intelligence rather than strength alone. Before closing in, orcas use sensitive hearing and echolocation to read movement underwater, locate the dolphin group, and identify any individual drifting out of rhythm with the others. Under the guidance of an experienced lead female, the orca formation splits into 2 lines. The first group spreads wide to both sides, creating a pincer formation that blocks escape routes. The other group maintains pressure from behind, forcing the dolphins to change direction again and again. When their speed loses rhythm, younger or weaker individuals are more likely to slip away from the protective formation. Once the target is isolated, a key orca accelerates from a hidden angle. The powerful rush can lift the dolphin several feet above the surface, disrupting the movement of the entire prey group. The chase ends quickly, and the food is shared among members of the pod. For orcas, hunting dolphins is not only about energy, but also a test of discipline, memory, and coordination. Across the open ocean, the humpback whale appears as a symbol of gentle strength. Reaching about 50 feet in length and weighing nearly 80,000 pounds, these whales are large enough to make most predators keep their distance. But for orcas, the weakness does not lie with the adults. It lies with the calves that still depend on their mothers. Along migration routes off Western Australia, Baja California, and parts of the tropical ocean, orcas may follow mother and calf pairs over long distances. Their strategy is not limited to cutting off the swimming path. They also disrupt breathing rhythms, block forward movement, and search for opportunities to separate the calf from the mother's side. Remarkably, some observations suggest that orcas may lift young whales closer to the surface, almost resembling the way mother whales assist calves when they need air. But during a hunting encounter, the behavior becomes a method of controlling position, disrupting the pair's rhythm, and forcing the mother whale to constantly change direction. A humpback mother is not easily overwhelmed. She uses her massive body, long fins, and persistence to shield the calf and keep it within a narrow zone of protection. The encounter can continue for extended periods, draining energy from both sides. The crocodile controls the water's edge through cold patience and hidden power. The moment prey moves too close to the surface, the silence turns into a sudden attack. When another predator attempts to cross the river, even the smallest movement awakens its ambush instinct. In the wild, the crocodile dominates the boundary between land and water. And once the surface begins to ripple, the real confrontation begins. Across the savanna, the cheetah stands as an elite big cat, built with a slender frame, remarkable agility, and long legs designed for speed. It can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in only a few seconds, even faster than a lion. That explosive burst of power makes the cheetah the fastest land hunter, placing constant pressure on agile prey, such as impalas during the chase. But that speed loses its advantage near the river. After every hunt, body temperature rises quickly, endurance drops, and thirst forces the cheetah to lower its guard. In just one rushed moment of lowering its head to drink, the confidence of the speed specialist is suddenly tested. Beneath the still water, a crocodile may quietly move closer, waiting for the perfect opening to launch a sudden strike. At times, two cheetahs attempt to swim across the river while a crocodile moves in pursuit. But the attack comes too late, and both cats manage to reach the opposite bank in time. Even then, the danger never truly disappears. When a cheetah makes a successful hunt near the water's edge, the movement of moving its catch and the scent of fresh food can unintentionally alert the crocodile. This time, there is no need for a long chase. The crocodile simply waits in silence, using the briefest moment of vulnerability to claim the opportunity. In Africa, the true boundary of danger is not always between predator and prey. Sometimes, it exists where the land meets the water. Across the wide, dry savanna, the lion faces very few rivals. With a powerful build and the ability to sprint at nearly 35 miles per hour over short distances, it controls open ground through strength, speed, and the confidence of a dominant predator. But when a pride approaches the riverbank, that balance begins to change. Calm water reviles nothing. Beneath the cloudy mud, a Nile crocodile remains almost perfectly still. Only the smallest signs appear above the surface. It does not display its power. It waits. The moment vibrations move through the water, the crocodile shifts from silence into action. There is no need for a long chase. It only needs the right distance and a single moment of lost awareness. Near the shoreline, young lions or individuals separated from the pride can quickly fall into a dangerous position. With one of the strongest bite forces in nature, the crocodile can turn a single step too close into a critical survival moment. But once the crocodile leaves the water and moves farther onto land, the balance changes again. On solid ground, the lion's agility, explosive strength, and coordinated group behavior create a major advantage. The crocodile becomes heavier and less maneuverable. More than anything, it needs to return to the water before becoming surrounded. Between two apex predators, victory often belongs to the one that turns the environment into a weapon. The survival map of Africa's waterways is shaped by two completely different strategies. On one side stands the hippopotamus, ruler of the shallow waters with a body weight exceeding 3,000 pounds and an intensely territorial instinct. On the other is the crocodile, a predator that chooses invisibility beneath deep mud, relying on patience and a bite force reaching nearly 3,700 pounds per square inch. The overlap of territory makes conflict difficult to avoid. A crocodile rarely challenges a fully grown hippo because the risk is simply too high. Yet, along the outer edges of the herd, the carelessness of a young hippo can create a narrow opportunity. From deeper water, the hunter quietly closes the distance, turning hesitation into a moment of vulnerability. In an instant, the calm river suddenly erupts with movement. The moment the mother hippo senses the intrusion, its protective instinct activates immediately. With heavy and determined steps, it creates an almost impenetrable barrier. Against the massive force of the mother and the pressure of the herd, the crocodile quickly loses its advantage. At that moment, retreat is not a sign of defeat, but a decision made for survival. In nature, the true winner is not always the one that attacks first, but the one that understands when to advance and when to pull back. Behind the small frame of the African wild dog lies the intelligence of a true pack strategist. Weighing only around 80 pounds, these animals possess remarkable endurance and can reach speeds of nearly 44 miles per hour on land. Their instinctive coordination allows them to carry out some of the most efficient hunts in the wild. Yet the water's edge is where every advantage begins to shift. Deep currents take away speed, break apart collective movement, and force the pack into the territory of the Nile crocodile, the invisible ambush predator beneath the murky water. When one individual steps a few feet too far from shore, the calm surface suddenly breaks with a rapid ambush. The sudden pressure forces the pack to scatter. But instead of fleeing, pack discipline keeps them close. Their return, combined with coordinated pressure from every direction, creates the only opening their companion needs to escape the danger zone. At the water's edge, the crocodile is capable of breaking formations, disrupting the hunt, and forcing African wild dogs to rely entirely on pack discipline for survival. The impala is one of Africa's most agile antelope species, recognized for its lightweight body, long legs, and incredibly fast reflexes. It can run at speeds of around 55 miles per hour, leap nearly 10 feet high, and change direction repeatedly to escape predators. But the impala's greatest defense does not come from strength. It comes from speed, herd awareness, and the ability to detect danger from a distance. During the hot afternoons across the open grasslands, those advantages help impalas survive countless chases. But once the herd approaches the water's edge, the balance begins to shift. A crocodile waits beneath the surface, almost blending into the mud and floating vegetation near the bank. Only its eyes remain visible as it watches carefully. Then it waits for the exact moment when one animal lowers its head too close to the water. There is no need for a long pursuit. The crocodile depends on a short ambush, close range, and precise timing. In an ideal ambush, the crocodile's advantage can rise to nearly 70%. If it targets a young, weakened, or isolated impala, the chances of success increase even further. With an extremely powerful jaw and a sudden pull, it needs only a perfectly timed moment to change the entire encounter. In the wild, speed may save an impala across the grasslands, but it cannot guarantee safety near the water. For the crocodile, true power does not come from chasing prey, but from waiting for a single mistake. The elephant is the giant of the savanna, a symbol of strength, memory, and herd unity. With a weight exceeding 10,000 pounds and a height reaching nearly 13 feet, a fully grown adult is enough to keep many predators at a distance. But for young elephants, every river crossing remains a test of survival. As the dry season drains shallow water sources, the herd is forced toward deeper and faster-moving rivers. The formation immediately tightens. Large adults move ahead to break the current, while the younger elephants stay close together in the center. On land, strength and herd memory allow elephants to face very few threats. But beneath the cloudy water, those advantages begin to weaken. Even a small current can pull a calf away from its safe position. That is when the crocodile gains the advantage. It stays low beneath the surface, using mud, waves, and the river current to conceal its movement. It does not challenge the entire herd. Instead, it targets the weaker individual pulled away from the formation. The moment the water suddenly erupts with movement, the crocodile closes in with a short burst and the advantage of ambush. Against a crocodile, even the strength of a united herd can be tested by a single moment of lost awareness. As the river slowly grows calm again, the elephants regroup along the opposite bank. In nature, survival does not always belong to the largest animal, but to those that know where to stand and when to protect one another. The hunt ends, yet the space above still leaves the ground unsettled. The eagle departs, leaving behind a lesson in vision and timing. Survival is not only about speed, but also about recognizing where danger comes from. In the animal kingdom, survival begins with the ability to read the sky. Like and subscribe to discover more dramatic eagle encounters.